Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Show of hands, how many are going, another trapper? Another trapper from a person who says that he doesn't like trappers? Go back and listen closely to my videos on trappers and what I say about trappers. And first of all, this is not actually a trapper, at least as far as Camillus was concerned, for most of its history. For most of Camillus's history, this was their number 10 folder. It wasn't until at the very end of Camillus's lifespan that they started also calling this a trapper. But anyway, the reason I picked it up is, well, Smoky Mountain Knife Works 25th anniversary, and the fact that this is a knife by Camillus, and I pick up Camillus knives, and I do not have a number 10 folder in my collection. So I wanted to go ahead and grab it, and I put in a low bid, and I won. And I start work on the box, and here is the knife. And for those wondering, yes, this knife is very much similar to your number 23 Pioneer Trapper from Great Eastern Cutlery. And I do have one of those in the beaver tail lineup. Let's see if I can pop this easy. There we go. And you can see that they're almost identical in size. Obviously, the Great Eastern Cutlery one is put together a little bit better. Actually, quite a bit better, I will say. And I picked this one up because of the beaver tail shield. You can see here at the top the finish. The earlier Great Eastern ones were closer to the way the Camillus knives were. They did manage to get these flush out to the end there. And you see the handles are very similar, other than the lanyard tube. The number 10 folders by Camillus, I believe, always had a lanyard tube. We'll take a look at the blades in just a little bit, comparing those. But this is also very similar to the Marbles Jumbo Trapper. This one is in the tortoiseshell, which is why I picked it up. Again, it is also lacking the lanyard tube. But blade-wise, blades are very similar. And you see there, the top is very similar also. The difference is with the bolster, is this one is nice and clean, no lines or anything, and you have an ever so slight pinch going on there, whereas this one is just rounded. There's no pinch, and you can see the pinch on the Titty-Ute beaver tail too. But anyway, all three very similar knives, and you will see that with the blades also. The blades are all very much alike. You have the very shallow clip blade, almost the Skinner style blade going on. With this one, you obviously have the Smoky Mountain Knife Works blade edge going on. You see the Camillus stamp, or part of the Camillus stamp. Most of it is hidden throughout the movement of the blade because of how deep the blade is set into the handle. But it definitely still says Camillus. And we know it was made in 2003 because, well, the shield there says 2003. And then the secondary blade on here is a spay blade, a very interesting spay blade, very wide belly spay blade, silver anniversary 1978 to 2003. Notice the spay blades on all of these have these, the nail nick on the back. The spay blade on the Great Eastern barely has that spay kind of tip going on at all. It's almost just a straight Skinner blade, almost a non-functioning part of it. You still got a good point there too. But that is their spay blade. You've got a bit of a rounded top. I wouldn't call it a true swedge, but it is sort of a swedge going on there. This is definitely just straight across the bottom. And the spay blade on your on the marbles is narrower and not nearly as got much. It doesn't have nearly the belly that you have on the Camillus, so they are definitely a little bit different. The clip blades, well, let's get all the clip blades open and we can compare those. Like I said, it's a very shallow clip, almost a Skinner style blade going on there, and that is the same. This is very much almost straight the whole way. You can barely feel the shallow clip at the very end there on that one. And also the Great Eastern has a half stop, and that is almost a straight Skinner blade too. Notice, but really the only one that has the most of a clip going with it is actually, or the most of a drop going with it, is the Camillus, also with a half stop on all blades. Does this have them? Yep, all of them have the half stop. But anyway, let's get back to the number 10 here. This particular pattern was used quite a bit by Camillus, but there was an entire series that had the oval here, and that was the American Wildlife series, and they had various silhouettes going on in here. So what Camillus did was they pulled knives out of the American Wildlife series. I'm assuming this was done in conjunction with Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Probably someone at Smoky Mountain Knife Works came up with the design and said, well, we could use the Camillus American Wildlife series, and we could just replace the animals with a picture of the store, which is what you see there, and then the 25th anniversary logo, which is what you see on the box too, as you can see. And then they just added blade edges to it. Otherwise, it is a knife very similar to what you find in the American Wildlife series, which was a very popular series by Camillus. I know the American Wildlife series knives went for somewhere around $25 or so they were not inexpensive knives, and I'm assuming that's about what this one went for originally, about the same price that you would have seen in the American Wildlife series. Just a beautiful knife though, and the action on it is very smooth. I'm assuming this was never carried or anything. I'm sure it was just a put in a shelf or on in a desk drawer or something as a souvenir of the 25th anniversary of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Somebody was there, they bought the knife, and then they put it up for auction, and no one bought it except for me. No one put on a bid on it except me, so I got it for their low asking price, which wasn't too bad at all. They still made a profit off of it, but I doubt their profit kept up with inflation. That is really well set in there, and I don't know. There you have it. This is a jigged brown Delrin. It's not bone or anything, but they always did a good job with their jigged brown Delrin. Camillus did. Brass pins, brass liners, brass spacer down the middle, 448 stainless steel blades. You know, all the things that people complain about with the made in China knives, this knife had, but it was made in USA back in 2003. Camillus would meet its final demise sometime around 2007 and be bought, and their line of traditional knives kind of disappeared. But anyway, there you have it, my 25th anniversary, 1978 to 2003, number 10 folder by Camillus for Smoky Mountain Knife Works. let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.